I teach sociology here at Lewes. So what is sociology? It's a really difficult question to actually have to answer, but I've just taught a class just now, and for example, the majority of the students in that particular class were female, and nearly all of them have got long hair. I might ask you, okay, so why haven't any of the girls got short hair? There's no law saying you can't have short hair. So in sociology, what we'd be looking at is we're trying to understand, well, is there something out there that is making you behave in certain ways, forces beyond your control? And so in sociology, what we look at, we spend a lot of time looking at culture, and what we would say is that there is your culture that is stopping you, the females anyway in the class, from actually cutting their hair short. Because if they leave the building with short hair, they're not going to get pulled over by the police or something like that, right? They are making that decision themselves not to cut their hair because they know that there are consequences perhaps if they do cut it short, because they know that people might look at them, or when they're feeling the force of their society, and therefore they are conforming to certain rules. One of the topics we study in sociology in the first year is the family. And at the moment we're doing a lot about all the different types of family that now exist in this country. So if you go back maybe 50, 60 years, you'll see that families used to be a certain traditional form. So mum, dad and the kids, they were married, etc., etc. And you look at today's world and we've got we've got all these different types of families that now exist, from same-sex couples to single parents to people who don't even live with other people, or they may decide to have no children or children in their 40s. All right? All these differences now exist. So again, what we're looking at is we're looking at what's going on, what has happened to our culture, which means that people are now deciding to live that way, because somehow they've been freed to make these decisions. So they no longer feel that they have to conform to living in that old traditional stereotype of the family, and that they don't want kids, they don't have to have kids anymore. Okay, so we're looking at how your culture, what the constituent parts of your culture, so things like, for instance, you would look at religion and you would say, okay, well, how's religion different now to it was in the past? So the fact that religion has gone into so much decline in this country means that it doesn't really have as much influence over us as it did in the past. Secondly, you would look at, one of the really big factors is the changing role of women. So women's roles have changed. Women are now part of the workforce. We've had feminism, which means that women are much more empowered. They're taking their own decisions, and therefore are deciding, well, what am I? Am I going to be a housewife and a mother, or do I want a career first? And again, that will then affect all the different types of families that we now see. We would then go on to look at, well, so what? Does that matter? And that's when sociology starts to go into a little bit of politics, because you'd look at the different political perspectives and how they see that erosion of that traditional family. So some people see it as a huge problem, other people see it as a great thing, and then we'd look at the different political viewpoints that follow those ideas. The entry qualifications for sociology are as follows. You would need, just as with any A-level, you need grade 4s to 9s, you will need 5 in total. And what is really important is that you have a grade 5 in English language. Now the reason for that is because that tells you straight away this is an essay-based course, so it's going to be very much about writing essays, and English is the paramount qualification that you need. In addition, I think it's really important you understand you don't have to have done sociology at GCSE, so you can come to it completely fresh. It doesn't matter at all. The vast majority of our students have never done sociology before. So you will be assessed through 3 2-hour exam papers. Paper 1 is on education, Paper 2 is on the media and the family, and Paper 3 is on crime and deviance. One of the really important parts of sociology as an A-level at Lewes is that you are expected to get really involved in lessons. So there will be lots of opportunity for pair work, small group work, where you'll be given short, sharp tasks, often around the use of these, all right, whiteboards, where you'll be asked a question and then you're asked to reveal your answer. Okay. Now the important thing is that you're not doing that on your own. You're doing that as part of a 2 or a 4, so you can feel secure. You don't feel like you're being picked on. It's the idea of your group rather than just you. So that's quite important. It won't make you feel exposed. The idea is to make you feel secure because you're doing it as part of a group, and that will happen throughout your lesson. Okay. In addition, the other thing we do is we have I produce booklets that go with your course, and it's not just a passive document. It's designed in such a way that you fill it in as you go along. So as the lesson proceeds, you're you're looking at the board and you're writing down answers to various things that come up through discussion, etc., etc. So you are very, very involved, and that's the thing. That's the main message really I want to get over. Your lessons, you'll have 3 single periods a week. Each period is 1.5 hours in length. So in the booklets that I talked about earlier, there are sort of extension materials, and also on the Google Classroom that we use, there are extension materials on there. And the idea is that when you're out of class, you'll be going through your booklet, making sure you understand everything, plus that you'll be looking at those extension materials that are provided for you. And that will, sometimes those extension materials can be things like films, which are, really, really good for sociology, really good for sociology. So good subjects to pair sociology with would be, in particular, I would say history, which you will do a lot of. You need to have a good understanding of the past in sociology. So there's a natural link between the two, plus issues you do in history, like you would do things like rights of women, things like that will be covered in sociology. In addition, subjects like, say, English Lit are very useful because of its emphasis on essay writing. There's a good synergy there with sociology. In addition, I would say probably politics as well. Politics, because we do a lot on on the consequences of some of the things that we look at in sociology. You'll be looking at how left and right wing viewpoints will vary, okay? And it's really important. You have to be politically literate to do sociology. It's not a requirement to join the course, but you will become politically literate as a result of doing it, which is really important, because after all, you'll all vote when you're 18. So those 3 in particular, I would say.
My name is Isabel Porter. I study English Literature, Media and Sociology. I love the fact that the lessons are about current topics, and I found it all very interesting when I was reading about it before making my choices. I think I'd like to study English at university, but I'm not 100% sure yet. If you come here, you'll love the support that you receive, the range of subjects that you can study, and the friendships and new environment that you find yourself in, and the independence.